Hello, students of the Global Health Leaders Conference. My name is Myla Leung, and today I will be presenting on Hidden Currents, the silent battle against schistosomiasis. For a little bit about me, I am a rising senior at Winston Churchill High School in Maryland, and this is my first year participating in Global Health Leaders Conference. At school, I am involved with National Honor Society, Science Olympiad, as well as a few other clubs. Outside of school, I love to volunteer at community gardens, lead climate initiatives, and teach. And I'm interested in studying environmental science, public health, and biology in the future. For some background, in 1851, a scientist named Theodore Bilharz completed autopsies in Egypt. He noticed a mysterious worm in the blood vessels of the patients who had died from an unknown disease. He continued to study this worm, which he identified as a parasite, until another scientist named Carl Theodor named the word schistosomiasis, or cysto for short, which will be the topic of my presentation today. This is an image of the parasitic flatworm he discovered. The purpose of my presentation is to provide background on schistosomiasis and its impact. For starters, what is schistosomiasis? Schistosomiasis, or cysto, is a waterborne disease caused by parasitic flatworms. Today, it is estimated that more than 200 people globally are affected with the disease, demonstrating that it has far-reaching impacts and implications on the global health of several communities. According to the World Health Organization, 700 million people live in areas where schistosomiasis can be found. What makes this parasitic disease unique is its complex and fascinating life cycle. It is also spread through water, is a chronic disease, and there is unfortunately no vaccination approved to treat the disease. In terms of the schistosomiasis life cycle, the life cycle starts when eggs are shed from infected humans. After that, eggs hatch and release myristidia. Myristidia then penetrate snail tissue, and snails are the intermediate hosts of cysto. After that, sporocysts develop in the snails, and free-swimming cercaria are released from the snail into the water. Cercaria penetrate human skin, and during this penetration, they actually lose their tails and become schistosomelae. They then circulate through the circulatory system and migrate to portal blood in liver and mature into adults, which is the parasitic flatworm. And the cycle then repeats. Intermediate hosts of cysto are snails. These are three main types of snails. Biofilaria, which is mainly found in sub-Saharan Africa, pairs with Schistoma mansoni. Oncomelania is found in East Asia and pairs with Schistoma japonicum. And Bulinus, which is found in Africa and the Middle East and pairs with Schistoma, hematobium, and intercalatum. Some important points of the life cycle I showed in the previous slides was that once the snails are infected, the snails release cercaria. And cercaria are what penetrate the skin and infect humans. They shed their tails and travel through the bloodstream. And on the right is a picture of cercaria. In terms of the symptoms, some of the symptoms include fever and chills, as well as blood and urine, one of the more chronic symptoms. Liver fibrosis is another common symptom and refers to liver scarring, as well as stomach pain, which is often a result of the eggs being found in the intestine and urinary tract. There is a treatment for cysto, which is praziquantel, that is proven to be a very effective drug. However, there is unfortunately not a cure for schistosomiasis. And those infected by cysto are located usually in developing countries and depend on water as their way of life. That means that even if they are treated by praziquantel, once they re-enter the water because of bathing or cooking or other purposes, they can become reinfected with cysto. Thus, researchers are on the path to developing a vaccination, and there are efforts that are working on vaccine development for cysto. I also wanted to talk about the environmental consequences that can exacerbate cysto. And this includes the construction of dams and deforestation, which often opens up new habitats for the snails, which again are the intermediate hosts. In addition, poor sanitation can lead to increased infection rates, and global warming can increase surface temperature of the waters, which, because these snails are tropical, this will increase the number of snails found in the waters. I wanted to mention my work as an intern at a Schistosomiasis resource center because we are providing snail lines to laboratories, and we are helping to distribute the vectors and parasites that are free of charge to these laboratories. By providing the three major strains of snails, which are Bioflaria, Bulinus, and Oncomelania, as well as rodents infected with the main parasite species, Schistoma hematobium, Japonicum, and Mansoni, we are supporting research efforts on the disease and vaccine development. Now that I've mentioned my work, I wanted to say what you can do. You can raise awareness about this disease because it is a neglected tropical parasite. You can fundraise, advocate for changes on the local, state, and national or international level, promote hygiene if you live in areas affected by cysto, or support research efforts. If you know any researchers interested in receiving reagents, please reach out to my email listed here. In conclusion, schistosomiasis is a truly devastating disease. It is not well known and entrenched in developing countries in poverty, so it is important to spread awareness of this disease because understanding it will go a long way in promoting a cure and eventually a vaccine. I wanted to thank my family and friends for supporting my passions and interests, as well as Margaret and the rest of the Schistosomiasis resource team for introducing me to this parasite. And thank you, listeners, for listening to my presentation.